What if I told you that the most dangerous violence in your life isn't the kind you'd recognize as violence at all? A stare on a bus, an old woman blocking traffic, a 14-year-old who stopped showing up to school. 3 stories, 1 week apart. One word connects them all: violence. When we hear the word violence, most of us picture the same things: gunshots, punches, bloodshed, images we don't feel connected to, things that happen to other people in other places. But the truth is, violence is everywhere in our daily lives: on the streets, on public transport, at work, even at home. And most of the time, it doesn't look anything like what we picture. I want you to give a second to this thought. Violence doesn't only come from strangers. It comes from our families, from people who are supposed to love us. Sometimes it even comes from ourselves, the way we torment our own minds and bodies. So, if we want to actually protect ourselves, we need to learn 3 things: how to set limits, how to release tension before it explodes, and how to stop being an easy target. Here's something that might surprise you. Statistically, in most parts of the world, we are living through one of the least violent periods in human history. And yet, we feel more unsafe than ever. Why? It's not because we are fighting over scarce resources like our ancestors did. It's because we are drowning in information. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we are flooded with stories and images, some real, some fake, some entirely generated by AI, along with messages from strangers who might not even be real people at all. Our brains were never built to process this much input. We don't have time to sit with it, sort through it, come down from it before the next wave hits. And so, little by little, we stop trusting. A stranger's blank stare on a street stops being just a stare. It becomes a threat, an invasion of our space, something we feel we need to respond to, sometimes with force. Social interactions get harder. A gesture, a tone of voice, even a single emoji gets misread as an attack. Violence is a cycle. The one who starts the violence are very often the one who were hurt first, somewhere else, by someone else. We can't just say a person is simply born violent, full stop. It is rarely that simple. Take domestic violence as an example. A father comes home and hits his wife. She, in turn, sometimes without even realizing it, projects her own fear and pain onto their children. And those kids, growing up inside an unhappy, tense home, may then take that same fear, that same hunger for control or attention, and act it out on a weaker classmate at school. So one person's pain becomes another person's wound, becomes another person's wound, and this cycle just doesn't start with any one feeling. It keeps moving until someone breaks it. Earlier, when I mentioned that we should not become an easy target of violence, it doesn't mean that we should armor ourselves to be a fighter. The best fight is the one we never have. So walk away when there are signs of violence. Don't take the bait. Every time you choose not to feed the fire, you are the one who keeps the power. You may have complained about some upsetting episodes that happen day in, day out with your friends, and everyone agrees that that's just how things are. No one dares to label them as violence. So a boss who dominates you, co-workers whose jokes cross into harassment, parents who never stop putting you down, a partner who gaslights you, who goes silent as a punishment. We fold all these behaviors into our identity. We refuse to label them as abusive relationships, and we stop questioning them. But silence feeds violence. To protect ourselves from this kind of masked violence that is like a social taboo, we cannot shut our mind from the reality. You deserve to be respected, and no one, Not even your partners, your boss, or your co-workers should cross the line to rewrite your sense of reality. So what can be done? Don't blame or provoke the abusers because these do not fix the problem. Accept that you have been a victim of violence, know that it is not normal, and you cannot allow that to continue. I will now end with the hardest part of this conversation. Sometimes we don't just survive violence, we absorb it, and then we turn it against ourselves. Reckless, risky behavior, self-harm, addiction, patterns of failure we keep repeating without knowing why. This happens when we take someone else's anger and quietly rename it as our own shame and guilt. We start believing we are worth less than we are, that we somehow deserve what happened to us, or that even hurting ourselves will punish the one who hurt us first. Really? Here's the truth. Punishing yourself only reaches you. The person who hurt you may never even realize that they were the bad guys. So my last word to you is this: never become your own enemy. If there is this pattern in yourself that you turn pain inward instead of naming it outward, maybe it's time to ask for help. Asking for help is not a weakness. Remember, violence in all its forms feeds on silence.